objections. How about that?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So what we're seeing with Representative Ilhan Omar is that she's completely panicking over the fraud that her and her husband they're allegedly involved in, because a reporter went up to her to ask her a simple question and she had a complete meltdown on camera. Not only that, in Minnesota, they invited her to come and testify in regards to her relationship with all these fraudsters that were running wild throughout the state. And she refused to go and testify to explain to the people of Minnesota and the American people why she's always involved with fraudsters. Let us get into it, starting with this clip of this reporter confronting Ilhan Omar in regards to her sudden change in net worth. Play clip.
You said that I was stupid for asking you about your financial disclosure, but there's some discrepancies on there. Would you like to explain that? How did you make such a big mistake on it?
I still do think you're stupid for asking me anything.
I am?
Yes.
Well, what about the American people who are wondering how you made such a big
I have
mistake?
explained to the American people.
What's the explanation?
I have given them the explanation.
Do you want to tell our viewers? Because they're
I don't want to tell you jack shit.
Oh.
How about that?
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
If you don't know what's going on, basically Ilhan Omar and her husband, they're under scrutiny for their sudden riches, because one year they claimed that they were worth a couple $1,000s, and then the next year they claimed that they were worth tens of millions of dollars. And then recently, we're talking about a week ago, Ilhan Omar came out and said, oh, we're not actually worth tens of millions of dollars. We're only worth $95,000, which is insane. And here a reporter confronted her about it and asked her, are you going to explain to the American people what happened? And here she's claiming that she already explained it to the American people. And the explanation that she gave is that this was an accounting error, which is insane, because I think Ilhan Omar thinks that the American people, that we're stupid, that anyone will see this and take it at face value. And what we know is that she's under investigation for this fraud, which is why she came out and she said she's no longer worth tens of millions of dollars. And we have this article here that explains that top House Republican warns Ilhan Omar that her financial disclosure revision won't save her. So basically that revision to go from tens of millions of dollars to go to just a couple $1,000s will not save her from this investigation that they're conducting within Congress. And here the article reads, Republican House Majority Whip Tom Emmer on Tuesday criticized his fellow Minnesotan Democrat Representative Ilhan Omar about her updated financial filing with the Ethics Committee. Ilhan Omar is even more clueless than I thought if she thinks this financial disclosure revision clears her of suspicion, Emmer told Fox News. Omar submitted new financial documents to the committee in hopes of avoiding a scandal. Emmer said that in doing so, however, she only raised further concerns among lawmakers. And here we have that video of Tom Emmer speaking in regards to what Ilhan Omar just did. Play clip.
When we talk about Ms. Omar, I mean, she went from $65,000 net worth that she was reporting on her congressional disclosures to reporting over $30 million in net worth in just a few years. And guess what? Now she comes out and says, oh, that was a mistake on our disclosures. I just took a quick look at it and missed it. You know, not only should her accountant be fired, but that girl should be fired, and she does not deserve to be in Congress.
That was Majority Whip Tom Emmer, and here he's making it clear that Ilhan Omar, she doesn't deserve to be in Congress, that she thinks that everyone is a fool, that she can commit fraud and then turn around to lie to the American people. And here we have a video of James Comer, who is responsible for investigating Ilhan Omar, and he's making it clear that if Ilhan Omar, if she lied, that is a felony, and she will be held accountable if that is the case. Play clip.
Well, look, who makes a multi-million-dollar mistake on their financial disclosure form? Either her accountant went to one of those quality leering centers in Minnesota, or she lied about it. If she lied about it, that's a felony, Sean. If her accountant went to one of the quality leering centers, then she should work with us as a whistleblower to help us prosecute all of her fellow Somalis who were involved in this massive welfare scheme in Minnesota. Either way, she's never explained to the public how her net worth was $30 million, and if she made a mistake, how the mistake happened. I mean, it's not possible. You review that financial disclosure form. Before you hit enter, you enter all the assets in, and then it pops up and you review it and you hit it again. So it's highly unlikely that she made a mistake. This isn't going to go away from her. So we're going to continue to try to push for answers and see if her name pops up in any of these frauds that Vice President Vance and the House Oversight Committee are detecting in Minnesota.
I agree with James Comer. This is highly unlikely that this was a mistake, and we've been saying this for a while. Ilhan Omar, she's a liar, right? This is what happened when, someone comes from a different culture that fails to assimilate, and then somehow, somewhere along the way, you have a group of people that decided that Ilhan Omar is the perfect candidate to be in Congress, to represent the American people. And this is what you have as a result of that. You have someone who's always around fraud, always around fraudsters, or there's always some allegations regarding fraud. And here we have Tom Emmer again, pretty much saying accountability is coming soon in regards to Ilhan Omar and the fraud play clip.
Perhaps this member's accountant, perhaps Ilhan's accountant, is a graduate from the Quality Leering Center. Either way, this about face shows incompetence at best and a cover-up at worst. But this is just the latest in a long list of head-turning stories relating to this member from Minnesota. Ilhan cannot escape accountability much longer. Investigations are ongoing in House committees. The Trump administration has waged war on fraud. Her ties to convicted Feeding Our Future fraudsters are well documented. And her defense of these criminals who stole billions from hardworking taxpayers makes it very clear where her allegiance stands. Make no mistake, if Ilhan Omar is discovered to have been involved in any or to have benefited in any way from any fraud, she must be held accountable to the fullest extent. And by the way, that includes marriage fraud.
At this point, Ilhan Omar should be expelled from Congress because the evidence is overwhelming at this point. There's been allegations of marriage fraud, immigration fraud, this fraud right here, financial fraud, the Feeding Our Future fraud. There's been fraudsters who donated to her campaign. All you have to do is throw a rock in any direction around Ilhan Omar and you'll hit fraud. And she was invited to Minnesota to actually testify for the fraud that she's involved in throughout the state, and she refused to go to her state, the state that she represents, to answer the question of the people that she represents. Play clip.
Record that we invited Representative Ilhan Omar to this hearing. We left her 2 voicemails at the end of March. We've written 2 letters, one on March 13th and one on March 30th. We also sent an invite on April 15th via her scheduling portal, and we have not had any response. Record that we invite.
My thing is, if you were innocent, if you have nothing to hide, why not go in front of the people that you represent, the people that pay you, that sent you to Congress? Why not go in front of them and explain to them exactly what's going on? If you have nothing to hide, why not just go in front of them? And it is obvious because she has something to hide. That is the reason why she's not taking questions from reporters. That is the reason why she's not going in front of her constituents to actually answer questions. And here we have a video of Ilhan Omar running away from reporters, failing to answer questions in regards to this fraud. And according to her, she has nothing to hide. Play clip.
Tell us about your net worth dropping down to about 100,000.
I mean, the whole thing.
Could you just elaborate on what mistake was made, Congresswoman? What mistake was made on your financial disclosure forms to bring it down to 100,000 from up to 30 million? Just want to give you a chance to clear it up because people are wondering why it dropped so far down.
And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Ilhan Omar is hiding something? Also, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.